Hello, and welcome to the special edition of The Bouncing Act.
I'm Olga Villaverdi.
And I'm Montel Williams. Imagine noticing that your child starts missing important developmental milestones.
Then imagine finding out that these missed milestones are in fact unique, hallmark symptoms of a rare, lifelong medical condition with no current treatment.
Today we're going behind the mystery of Angelman syndrome.
My name is Adam Moore. This is my wife Amanda Moore, and we live in Fishers, Indiana. We've been married for almost 16 years, 15 years.
Better get that right.
We've been married for 15 years.
One day I was sitting in my office at the YMCA, and one of my friends and a staff at the Y came to me and said, "I have a sister who is pregnant with twins. I heard that you are adopting." And then I guess say the rest is history.
Hi, my name is John Sugden, and this is my wife, Anna. We've been married for 25 years. For the past 10 years, we've been living in Miami, Florida. We are the proud parents of Sebastian, Nicolas, and Matias. Sebastian is 20, Nico is 13, Matias is 7.
We adopted the boys in 2015. They were born on May 12th.
So during the adoption process, we received this paperwork, and the question came along of, would you consider adopting a child with special needs? We did ponder that question an awful lot. And who would have thought, right? Looking back.
Sebastian was born in 2005. I had a normal pregnancy. We did notice in the hospital that his crying seemed a little coarse, and his breastfeeding seemed a little difficult.
We started seeing a lot more issues with Jackson, I would say around 3 or 4 months, when, because they're fraternal twins, everyone said, you have a carbon copy. Like, you were able to see kind of the differences between these two children.
I actually worked at a doctor's office, and there was a DO that worked in our office, and she took a look at him, and she knew that, she said he was very, very tense. So it was kind of like the first, almost like, we knew it.
One of the developmental pediatricians said he's awfully quiet. He didn't sleep at all. So it was, he would wake up at 2 a.m. and didn't sleep again. And his seizures started when he was 2.5.
I'm Elizabeth Gelazzo. I am a pediatric geneticist at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. So my daughter Evelyn was born in 2014. Within a few days of birth, it became clear to me that she had some challenges that her typically developing older sister did not.
The hardest time was not knowing what he had. We really felt very alone because we felt that the specialist couldn't even help us.
Even as a medical professional, I didn't know, I was very much a parent in that moment. You know, pretend like I'm not a doctor. Tell me what this means in real life.
Since he had already had a seizure, we started putting 2 and 2 together. Anna had seen an article in People magazine where they talked about the celebrity son who had a lot of similar conditions to Sebastian. And at the same time, my brother-in-law's sister had done some research as part of her undergraduate degree on Angelman. And so we started hearing more and more about Angelman syndrome.
They suspect that Jackson has Angelman syndrome.
So Angelman syndrome is a rare neurodevelopmental disorder. It is caused by a loss of a particular gene called UB3A on the mom's copy of chromosome 15. It affects all races, ethnicities. There is no particular population that is more affected by Angelman syndrome. Individuals with Angelman syndrome will oftentimes present with these pervasive feeding difficulties in the newborn period, not meeting those gross motor milestones. We see a lack of that typical speech development that we see in the first year. We don't see that typical babbling. And one thing that's unique about individuals with Angelman syndrome is they have a relative strength in the social domain. So children will make good eye contact. They'll smile early or on time, and they'll be engaged with their caregivers. Sleep challenges, we can see really difficult to manage sleep challenges and seizures in the first year of life and beyond. One very unique feature of Angelman syndrome is a significant expressive language deficit. People with Angelman syndrome are largely nonverbal.
When we heard that diagnosis, first of all, we didn't know what Angelman syndrome was. But then they started describing it for us. Jackson will never walk. He'll never talk. He will likely have seizures all his life. He will likely be 100% dependent on us.
So there was just all this cloud of just, unknowns and just not really sure what to do next.
More Behind the Mystery when we come back. Welcome back to Behind the Mystery.
So that year in November of 2007, we finally got our appointment with Children's Hospital, and we had him tested for Angelman syndrome. And we received the results a couple of weeks later, that he had Angelman syndrome, that it was deletion positive. It was bittersweet to get the results, because until you know what it is, you always hold on to hope that he'll grow out of it.
I think the initial response was shock and devastation.
So they did the genetic testing, and he said, well, let's go upstairs. And I just knew at that point, like, I'm getting emotional. I can remember that point. We went upstairs, and he was like, it's Angelman syndrome.
We had real grief for everything that we didn't know was going to happen for Jackson.
So I feel like it's getting much better as far as how quick doctors will provide genetic testing, but we could have gotten an answer much quicker.
One of the challenges that often leads to delayed diagnosis is the long wait times that families often face to get in to see a specialist. This testing that is routinely done to diagnose Angelman syndrome really could be done by any medical professional. And more I am seeing that being done by a pediatrician to expedite that evaluation. But oftentimes it is still being done by a geneticist or a neurologist in the community. And the wait time can take months or even up to a year in some communities for that. Standard evaluation for a child with concern for Angelman syndrome would be routine genetic testing that can be done either with blood work or even a cheek swab, non-invasive testing, to look for the chromosome deletion on chromosome 15, as well as follow-up testing looking for that abnormal methylation pattern that we see in Angelman syndrome.
I was very angry at a lot of people, including God, but I do remember there was a moment that I was like, okay, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna wallow in the grief? Are you going to allow it to take over you? Or are you going to do everything you can to make Jackson's life and Baden's life and our life the best possible life that they deserve?
Play. Okay.
You wanna
Toy.
play toy? There you go, good job, okay.
Good morning.
Good morning, very nice.
I think some of the greatest challenges that I witness every day in caring for my patients with Angelman syndrome and living with a loved one with Angelman syndrome is this profound communication challenges. Imagine getting up and not being able to tell your mom or your dad what you want for breakfast.
Hamburger.
Hamburger.
Or that actually, hey, I really need to go to the bathroom right now. People with Angelman syndrome have balance issues.
All the way, oh, yes.
Seizures and controlling seizures is definitely a challenge for individuals with Angelman syndrome. A typical sleep pattern for a child with Angelman syndrome might be not falling asleep until 9 or 10 o'clock at night and then waking up at 2 o'clock and being up for the day.
Having a diagnosis and getting to know a community, the Angelman syndrome community opened up a huge...
A world of resources, really.
This community has dedicated really 30 years to understanding Angelman syndrome. And with that understanding, we are now on the cusp of incredibly exciting times in the Angelman syndrome community, with multiple clinical trials enrolling people across the lifespan for potentially transformative treatments that really stand to change what we understand about this disorder.
After the break, we're going to meet two more individuals working hand in hand with these incredible families and the Angelman syndrome community.
We'll hear how this powerful patient community is a driving force towards hope for future treatments. Stay tuned. There are only about 15,000 people living with Angelman syndrome in the United States, and about 500,000 of them living with it worldwide.
Wow. Joining us now to talk about initiatives in genetic research, collaboration, and the incredible efforts of the Angelman syndrome community is Ryan Fisher, COO of the Foundation for Angelman Syndrome Therapeutics, or FAST, and Holly Kortasevich. She is the Senior Vice President of Neurology Research from Ionis, a leader, by the way, in RNA-targeted medicines.
Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Holly, let me start with you. I was reading here, Angelman syndrome is a rare and complex genetic disorder that currently has no treatment. Talk about Ionis and its involvement here.
Yeah, so Ionis is a company that specializes in RNA-targeted medicines. And because of the mechanism of action of our approach, our medicines are particularly well suited to target the underlying cause of a genetic disease.
Well, Angelman is a genetic disorder, and Ionis, working in genetic disorders for over 3 decades, you guys are really well positioned to do some research right here. How's it going?
Yeah. So at Ionis, we have been very fortunate that we've been able to collaborate with the Angelman community for over a decade now. And what we do is our approach utilizes something that's central to gene expression, and that's RNA. And so RNA is essential for the transfer of genetic information from DNA, our genetic code, to proteins. And since Angelman syndrome is caused by a change in the genetic code, RNA is directly involved. And so that's what we focus on. And as a result, we now have an ongoing phase 3 clinical trial to determine the potential of an RNA-targeted therapeutic to treat this genetic disorder.
Ryan, let me bring you in. What is FAST and how is it involved?
So thank you for having me. So FAST's mission is to cure Angelman syndrome. We're the largest non-governmental funder of Angelman syndrome research globally, funding over $60 million since our founding in 2008. Families play such an important role, and we owe them so much for taking a chance on participating in clinical trials. But their participation goes well beyond just the clinical trial process. We need the community's input and perspectives across the entire drug development continuum.
And Holly, how important is the Angelman syndrome community for the researchers behind the scenes?
Yeah,
right?
So just to echo what Ryan said, it is absolutely critical. And this is a phenomenal community. So to give you a really unique example, so with this community, the physicians and the patients, years ago, before there was any hope for disease-modifying therapies, they began studies to really deeply understand their disease, to characterize Angelman syndrome and what the progression looks like. And that data is so valuable to us when we're designing these clinical studies to test these potential medicines. And so it's really wonderful that we're able to be here today with you to acknowledge that work and that foresight that the community had to do this work, and then also the bravery and the commitment of those families to participate in these types of activities.
So important.
We really appreciate it.
It's unbelievably outstanding.
That's
no question,
great.
really.
So needed. Thanks again for your time. Great information. Appreciate it. And we're going to share some of these important resources for you at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that.
Absolutely. Right after the break, we'll check back in to see how some of our inspiring families are doing today.
Welcome back to Behind the Mystery.
In 2019, I decided to come on board as the medical director of the ASF. The science is here. We know that we can reactivate Dad's copy of UB3A, and we know that reintroducing that functional protein early in life we hope that can be profoundly impactful for the symptoms of Angelman syndrome. So my hope is that these therapeutics that are in development make life less challenging for individuals with Angelman syndrome. The people that I have met along this journey have been some of the most important people in my life. Evelyn brings immense joy to our family. I am immensely proud of her, of the strength that it takes her to navigate the world as a nonverbal individual in a world that is not built for her. She is a joy, but she's a troublemaker in a great way. She has plans. She wants to cause trouble most days of the week. And I respect that. She brings the chaos that a middle child should bring.
Say bye to Mama. Say bye to Mama. Right now, Sebastian is a young adult. He's in his early 20s.
He got into a full-time school, which gave us a lot of support. Kids with Angelman are very smart. They understand a ton. They just have trouble expressing that verbally.
His receptive language is great. He understands Spanish, he understands English. He can use his iPad in Spanish, he can use his iPad in English.
Take out trash.
Yeah, we're gonna take out trash. Take out the trash. Good job. Robert is one of the teachers at Steps for Success. And so he's there every day with Sebastian, with the rest of the team. And for example, they'll program the menu on his iPad. So when he gets to the restaurant, he can order his own food.
Hamburger.
And that gives him a great sense of independence.
Sammy, come.
So Sammy is our 90-pound Labradoodle. She's a service dog that we got to help with Sebastian. And the idea for getting Sammy is that it would help him with his anxiety. And so Sammy has been really helpful, not only to Sebastian, but to the entire family.
Hi, Sammy girl.
We've been involved with the Angelman Syndrome Foundation since the very get-go. One of Sebastian's proudest moments was when we went to Tallahassee last year for Angelman Syndrome Day, and he was there, and they mentioned his name as one of the members representing the community. I know that it had a huge impact on his life, and he felt very proud of what he was able to accomplish.
In 2017, when we got our diagnosis, we got on a plane and we went to our very first Angelman Syndrome Foundation conference.
And so today, I am the CEO of the Angelman Syndrome Foundation, 7 years in. What Angelman has brought into our life as far as people and the connections is unbelievable. Finding care is near to impossible for Jackson and kiddos like them. And because of that, I'm carrying, or Adam's carrying, a 60-pound child down the stairs. You start saying, I'm gonna do everything at home. We're gonna build a whole backyard that is a wonderful place for an oasis for him, because he's comfortable there and he's valued there. Because of his depth perception and his motor abilities, he missed a step or fell over a step and ended up breaking his leg in 2 different places. And so these are all things, it's one part of Angelman syndrome that we experience with our child.
What about Baden? He isn't just going to tag along with this. Like, his life is as important.
So my brother's name is Jackson, and our lives together are really good. He pulls my hair, but besides that fact, it's awesome.
Yes, Sebastian! He's been skiing at Vail. He's gone surfing in Puerto Rico. He can swim. He can ride his bicycle. A lot of things that we were told he would never be able to do.
I think something that it is hard is to think about the future, is to think that there's gonna come a time that we're not gonna be here for him. That's very difficult.
And so we are doing our planning and making sure that we get him as far along as independent, and little things just like microwaving his own food, and he can just everything that he needs to do so he can live more independently.
Sarah.
Before, I wasn't sure that we would find a cure in his lifetime or mine. And now I am very hopeful with all the clinical trials that are going on that really we might be able to see a cure even in our lifetime. That's a wrap!
We'd like to thank all of our incredible guests for joining us today.
For more information on Angelman syndrome and to get connected with critical resources and the worldwide Angelman syndrome community, go to cureangelman.org or angelman.org.
And of course, you can always visit our website, thebouncingAct.com, for more information also. See you next time.